Tuesday, January 19th. I'm Scott.
I'm Rim.
And this is Geek Nights. Tonight, the secrets of Street Fighter. Let's do this.
So last year we talked a lot about PAX East, and now we're looking forward to it. We're going to do some panels at it. We didn't really announce anything beyond that. It's finally time to announce that we actually are doing stuff at PAX East.
No, we're not.
No, we're not. Never mind. Now, in Boston, March 26th through 28th, PAX is coming to the East Coast in case you lived under a rock and
Boston,
didn't know.
Kansas?
Boston. Massachusetts? What was that? I didn't use this thing the day on College Humor of the German people trying to pronounce Massachusetts.
That was old.
They're like
That was
Massachusetts.
for a long time ago.
Massachusetts.
That was a long time
But yes, in Boston, Massachusetts, March 26th, 27th, 28th, the Penny Arcade Expo on the East Coast. This is a grand
I love how they
experiment.
posted that they thought that it would alleviate from the PAX West, when it's just, I'm going to both, you morons.
Yeah, we've been talking to them for a long time, and way back when they were like, there's going to be a PAX East, I believe I said, you're going to get like 50 or 60,000 people, you realize. Everyone's going to come out of the woodwork. There are so many more
It's like
people.
they basically thought that that anyone who wanted to come to PAX was already coming to PAX, and they wanted to make a PAX East so that the people maybe who were traveling across the country to PAX West would just stay home, not go to PAX West. Like, okay, we'll have two smaller conventions instead of, the PAX East is bigger than the West. It's going to be, I can guarantee it, because there's more cities closer to each other.
Yep, I mean,
right?
look,
Greater
like
population density.
An anime con in Baltimore gets 26,000 bodies. PAX West only gets like 20,000 bodies.
Yeah.
So PAX East is far and away, like, the only reason it's not going to be some crazy, enormous disaster is that they're going to cap registration. In fact, badges are going to be sold out probably within a few days.
Yeah, probably.
So if you have not pre-registered for PAX East and you want to go...
First of all, if you haven't already, you're a fool.
Yes, but pause Geek Nights and go pre-register right now, or you're not going to get a badge. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah, I don't know what year someone might be digging through the archives years from now, digging this up, listening to it.
Well, you know what you should do?
If
Go
it's the year,
pre-register for
if it's the
PAX.
year 2013, register for the next PAX East, whatever it may be, or else you're probably not going to get in.
And PAX West.
Yeah.
I feel like the two are going to be very different. I think they'll both be good, but they'll serve different purposes, and I feel like I'm going to have to attend both every year forever.
I'm going to be very curious to see what the culture of PAX East becomes,
So I do want to point out, too, they are looking for more enforcers. They need a lot of help, and if you're willing...
a bunch of people I know have signed up to be enforcers. And
in fact, a whole bunch of the front row crew.
Yeah, even some people I would not suspect of being enforcers have been accepted and signed up and everything. So awesome.
If you are willing to take up the black, it is a badass experience.
You just can't stop saying that.
Because that's what they say. Think about that. Some anime con, you're a gopher, you're a volunteer. PAX, you have taken up the black. You are an enforcer.
Yeah, but it's really corny when you say it over and over.
It's up the black.
It's far less. Were you Stan Lee? It's far less corny.
I take up the black, you little guy.
To say it just once,
However, I do want to announce, because we finally have the initial tentative schedule. I hope this won't change, but we are doing 3.5 panels at PAX East this year. On Friday in the Wyvern Theater.
It's the Wyvern.
At 8:30 p.m., we are doing Beyond Dungeons and Dragons.
Again. We've already done it in that city.
I know, but for a different convention. We might be doing it at Anime Boston, too. I don't know.
It's again in the same exact convention. We got to retire the panel at some point.
Well, we have to
Even though it is pretty much our number one panel.
I know. It's kind of like when we did that Gekiga panel, and every stupid anime con for the next 3 years was like, yeah, could you run that horrible rape panel for us again? On Saturday, Losing Should Be Fun.
We already know the days?
At 1 p.m. in the Naga Theater.
Oh, are we in the Raven Theater or not?
There is no Raven Theater. There's a Wyvern and a Naga. And I don't know any other names, but those are the two that all of our panels are in. Losing Should Be Fun, 1 p.m., Naga Theater on Saturday. On Sunday at noon, Beyond Candyland back in the Wyvern. And also on Sunday.
Why do you keep saying Wyvern? It's Wyvern. It's either Wyvern or Wyvern.
I like Wyvern.
It's no earn. It's earn.
Sunday, Action Castle with Jared Sorensen at 10:30 a.m. The secret event for 2 years at PAX is finally on the schedule before PAX.
It takes a long time to get that on the schedule.
And we'll probably Action Castle is going to be run by Jared, of course. But
So we didn't get Game is Mind Control on the schedule?
Nah. We didn't get. We only got 4 of the 11 events we proposed.
That's not. We need more than that.
Yeah, we'll work on it. We'll work on it for PAX West. But Action Castle probably won't take the whole hour, so there will probably be something cool for the second half of that panel. Maybe some sort of discussion, maybe involving Luke Crane and Jared Sorensen.
These are all 1 hour dealies?
Yep.
All right.
And what?
I want a 2 hour dealie.
There are only like 50 panels at PAX. We already account for a surprising percentage of them.
Did we get any gaming tables?
I can't announce anything else yet. The only thing I have in writing that is done are the panels.
All right.
So register for PAX East. It's already possibly too late, so go right now.
It's likely too late.
I mean, they even tweeted. They're like, hey, it's going to sell out.
Well, that's what they did with PAX West also.
Yeah.
They were like, yeah.
But think about how early it is sold out. I mean, they're not even going to pretend. They're already at the stage of there will be no badges at the door. It's just a matter of when they actually physically sell out.
Yep. All right. So, there's a lot of iPhone action lately. There's some apps coming out that I never thought I would see,
Yeah, start with a generic statement and then kind of bring it into whatever your actual news is.
Yeah, you know how we do. That's how we do. So there's going to be something that, a lot of other portable devices have, like, the N900 and the PSP, things that people tend to, like, they hack their device in order to get these things on there. This is going to be totally legit SEGA Genesis emulator for the iPhone, made by Sega. Now, the thing is,
Wait. So, how do ROMs work?
You just buy them.
For how much money?
Well, Sonic the Hedgehog is $6.
That's a little pricey.
And Golden Axe is $5.
That's a little pricey.
Echo the Dolphin is $3.
That's a little pricey.
Shining Force is $3.
I might pay $3 for that.
For Shining Force?
Maybe.
But on your iPhone?
See, here's the problem. Sega games for me have this situation of, one, I was a Nintendo kid, so I have this weird remembered latent hatred for Sega, even though I owned a Game Gear and I loved Sonic. Mm-hmm. But 2, rose-tinted glasses.
Well, the thing here, right, something I've recently realized is that I don't know how much longer people are going to stand for this. Maybe another year or so.
Well, it's simple. It's the exact same thing that happened with cassettes and with DVDs. When DVDs first came out, everyone was like, oh, crap, I can buy that movie that I liked as a kid that, I have a busted old VHS for again and own it in a modern format. Mm-hmm. But nowadays, there's no reason to keep doing that.
If formats are digital, I mean, it's eventually we're going to get to the point, once everything is in a digital format, if I've bought, say, an EXE file, I'm not going to repay to get a, dot something else file for a different, so it runs on something else.
But they do planned obsolescence or just things change. Standards go away. DRM servers shut down. There are ways to force that. However, with digital media, the moment that happens, just pirate it because I already bought it. If I already bought it, pirating the exact same thing again, what could you possibly say against that?
But I mean, it even extends beyond this, right? Like, look, I just bought Street Fighter 4 for the PC on Steam, right? It's basically 100% the same exact game that is on Xbox, right? The only difference is that the PC version is they added some slight modifications, like because they need an options menu in order to, configure your video card settings, which you don't need in the Xbox, and they needed an options menu to configure different buttons because, computers have keyboards.
They should put those in the Xbox games anyway, just to confuse you.
Yeah, but I mean, those are the only changes they've really made at all. And other than that, it's probably, it's the exact same code. I know that Capcom has a system that they can make games cross-platform very easily, where it's 90% like the same exact game. So, and even if they didn't, if you're making something in like XNA for the Xbox and the PC, it's 90% the same exact thing. Even more than that, maybe 99% the same exact thing.
Well, that is why I'm
So
holding
why
out.
should I have to pay again? I bought Street Fighter 4. Why can't I play it on the Xbox? It's the same exact thing.
Well, here's brilliance.
It's BS. So
brilliance that they do not do. What if you buy one version of the game, whatever. Mm-hmm. Now, the nice thing to do would be now you have it for every system forever.
Yep.
What I would do as a businessman is say, all right, you own it on the PC. For $1, you can get the whatever you need to also play it on your Xbox.
Well, I mean, that's something I think that they can do actually in the short term is they could say, PC version, $20, Xbox version, $20, version for both computer, $30. That would work for a short time. I would even pay $30 for the double version instead of $20 individually for the, versions that only work on one platform, right? And that would actually also be good because all the people who are only interested in getting it for one platform or the other would also buy more copies to save more money. And here's the thing, right, is that if you think about it, having separate copies for separate, platforms, how much money? That's not giving them any extra sales. How many people are buying the game twice?
Now it wouldn't
not
be
too many people.
It wouldn't be that bad if they, for them, if they did the thing where the Xbox version has this tiny little difference, so the hardcore fans buy both.
But if that's what they do with like adding the characters in Soul Calibur on the different platforms.
Yep. Well, I mean, who do you want, Link or
how many extra copies do they sell? I can't believe that they would sell that many extra copies of because people need to buy both, right? But if they sold a version that was the double version, they would sell a lot of extra copies of people who would just say, oh man, that's such a huge bargain, something that works on both, I'll totally buy that.
I think the reason they don't probably boils down to a misunderstanding on their part of the market.
Yes. So I think in the short term, you could make money with that sort of pricing model of having a double, selling a combined pack of, stuff. But I think in the long term, pretty much you're going to be forced to just sell your game. This is my game. If your game happens to be multi-platform, you're just going to have to give them the game on every platform at once in one package, And the thing is, right, you think about it, let's say I make a game for Xbox 360 and PS3, right? Okay. It doesn't cost me anything to, print a CD. It's like $1, not even $1 to print another disc. So why not just put both discs in the same box and say, $50, that's what it is. Why go through you're actually spending more money to print up 2 separate boxes with 2 separate instruction manuals. You would save money in the economy of scale because the only extra cost is actually manufacturing. The thing they had to worry about, though, with that specific instance is because these are, physical media, I would buy the double version and my friend has a PS3, I have an Xbox. Now we actually have 2 copies.
That's why you have to do it with digital activation models.
Right, but with digital, this isn't a problem anymore if it's Steam or something, right? So if my console hooked up to my TV is also Steam, and my iPhone is also Steam, and my, take that. That's where we need to go, is where you have a Steam or something like it, and it's just all your platforms of gaming, TV, your portable, your PC, all your gaming platforms all run on the same store. And you only buy a game once, and you can play it everywhere.
This is why
I can buy Mario Brothers, and I can play it on the Wii, I can play it on the DS, I can play it on my iPhone, I can play it on my PC, I can play it anywhere.
This is why I'm not buying an Xbox in this generation. I've decided not to bother with the Xbox 360.
Well, the only reason is because I realized the Xbox 360 is going to be around for years to come.
Yeah, but I see this trend, and I imagine that it won't be that long before much of the Xbox 360's repertoire is available in Windows Game Live in some fashion.
Well, first of all, it already is. Most of the Xbox games that are any good.
Yeah, but not all of it.
Yes.
I can't play every Xbox game on my PC yet.
Yep. And the thing is, the reason I got the Xbox is because it was mad cheap. There was a big deal on it. And because there are a few games I really wanted to play. And I noticed I haven't bought any physical games for it whatsoever. And the other thing is that I already had controllers for it, so it was sort of like a double bonus, And I can also make games for it, which is kind of neat. So
how many games have you made?
0.
Yeah. There is one. I think there are 2 separate days of reckoning. The first day of reckoning that they're just not addressing at all is the conversions of platforms, but there's a very specific phenomenon of selling retro games to people primarily based on nostalgia.
There's also, I think, selling retro games to people who never played them. I mean, how many people, we played the fuck out of Mario 3, right? But there are a lot of people out there who didn't play Mario 3, and they could still buy Mario 3. So if Nintendo puts it up for sale, they can make some money.
Yep. However, this only works because of these weird market conditions. I mean, say I have an original copy of Mario 3. Until, not that long ago, it was the biggest selling game in the history of games ever.
Now it's not even on the top 10 list.
But in terms of think about how many Mario 3 cartridges exist just in North America.
Too many.
So, what if you bought all of them up for cheap, or you acquired one somehow, and you just dump the ROM and destroy the cartridge. You haven't committed a crime as far as I'm concerned. So what if you didn't even copy the ROMs? What if you just sold the ROMs and everyone was perfect and no one pirated it? That would still destroy this whole buy it for $5 market.
Yeah, because, I mean, the cartridges, I mean, there are some people with NESs out there, but really, the cartridges, very few people
We're in this weird
are
situation
playing the cartridges directly.
where a lot of the media from the past that isn't just available in a completely digital DRM-free format is not competing with modern media as effectively as it could because there's an artificial price limitation. There's an artificially high price to get Mario 3 when, considering the supply, Mario 3, it's harder to get a lot of things than it is to get a copy of Mario 3.
Yep.
I mean, you see like a cartridge of it for sale for like $1 at some Chinese knockoff store. But anyway, things of the day. There are a ton of remixes of that Hitler movie where they'll just resubtitle it.
I'm so tired of these Hitler remixes.
You got to admit, the first Hitler remix was pretty funny.
Yeah,
he's talking
but I
about
mean,
the
it's
RX-7
so,
or whatever.
it's so played out, and it's like, all right, at this point, guys, the joke is not.
There's always the trend where someone will do something clever like that. There will be a million copycats for a while, and then someone will do something more clever with it to change everything and kind of jump up above the crowd.
I don't think this is one of those cases.
I think it is, because rather than taking that one scene and just changing all the words, which anyone could do, they took that scene, changed all the words, and integrated it with Khan from Star Trek. Maybe it's just because you don't like Star Trek. I found this hilarious.
Okay.
Mostly for the piss off at the end from Hitler.
All right. So, in gaming, no matter what kind of gaming you're doing, there is one shape that is the most important shape in all of gaming. Do you know the shape?
See, I do know, but I'm not going to spoil your thing of the day.
You're not gonna spoil it?
I'm not going to spoil it.
The
Perhaps the rhombus?
No.
Maybe the decahedron?
It is. Is it a decahedron?
The double dodecahedron?
It's not. I don't know. If you look at a double dodecahedron from a certain angle, perhaps it looks like a hexagon, the most important shape in all of gaming. So here's a website. Hall of Hexagons. This website is about nothing but hexagons. It contains a cornucopia of maths facts about hexagons, including the area, lengths and angles, number sequences, tiling, tessellation, the Selassie polyhedron.
I think you can differentiate what kind of gamer and from what era someone is by what shape they actually say. Because remember when Third Ed D&D switched to the square?
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, I thought your thing today was something else. I thought you were going to talk about the Omnomnomagon.
What's the
The official name for the shape of Pac-Man.
Oh. No, this is a website all about hexagons. And if you need to do something, like, it's mostly useful, right? If you're going to make a game, maybe you need to print a hex map, or maybe you need to make a hex object, or maybe you need to program a game involving hexes, and you need like the algorithm to draw a hex grid, or you need to find the distance, like if my battle mech is going to move from this hex to that hex, how much distance is there from the center point of this one to the center point of one that's 3 up and 2 over?
Remember using the laser pointer on BattleTech with lines of sight and be like, it's just touching the edge of the hexagon, I can hit him.
Yeah, right? So here's the exact math you can use to avoid using a laser pointer.
The sad thing is, all through my high school career, all through my middle school career, all through my time at RIT, what I wanted and needed more than anything was a hex map and a square map. But they were too much money. It was never worth it. And I bought one on sale when I realized that if you buy the slightly imperfect ones, they're like a quarter the price.
Right, because usually you go to the store and you want to buy a hex map, and there's like a perfect hex map. They're all lined up in a straight, and there's a nice border around the edge of the map, and the hexes are printed directly in the middle, right? So, but apparently at the store, they just have like these off-cut ones, where it's just like they basically just slapped a bunch of hexes down on a big sheet and just cut it up into, sort of squares, and they're straight enough, and it's like way, way, way cheaper than getting the pretty hex map, and it's just as serviceable.
So we bought it, and I've never used it because I never needed it because I don't play D&D anymore. And I
bought it at like the last minute. It's like just as we didn't need it anymore, we bought it.
It sat there in the living room, and every day I was like, oh man, I can't wait to play Battletech. I have not played Battletech since we bought that. Maybe it's time.
Yeah, I've been saying it's time to play Battletech for a long time.
I think we should schedule an FRC Battletech meetup.
Oh, snap.
No girls allowed. Well,
I mean, here's the thing, right? Okay, any girls who want to complain about no girls allowed in Battletech, I ask you, do you actually want to play Battletech?
I'll say it differently.
Are you seriously saying you want to play Battletech?
I will put it this way.
For reals? Like most people of my age back in the day, arcades still existed.
We're at the end of the arcade era. I remember going like Mortal Kombat 3. I'd stand there in line and lose my quarter to the one guy who was good at fighting games.
Exactly. And I played the Street Fighter 2. I played Street Fighter 2. I played Super Street Fighter 2. I mostly played Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition.
When I was a kid, I wondered if there was a Street Fighter 1, and I did not believe it existed.
I had played the Street Fighter 1 at a young age, actually.
I had never played it until that Katsucon where they brought it.
Really? Oh, see, I had played it much earlier than that because there was an arcade in Milford that had the machine.
There was precedent.
And they also had a QZar there.
There was precedent for that sort of bullshit because remember Goonies 2? No one remembers Goonies 1.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so I had played my share of Street Fighter. I even had Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition for the SEGA Genesis and the 6-button gamepad. And, I played it. Now, the thing is, I was never good, right? I would always just get my ass kicked by anyone who actually knew what they were doing. Even if I went to a convention and played open gaming, I would just get my ass completely destroyed. People would do these combos, and then I would try to, even if I tried a little bit, to read a combo in the book, I would try to do the combo. It'd be like, okay, jump in with a light punch, do 2 standing light kicks, a low light punch, and then a Hadouken.
Yep,
right?
so you're thinking that. Meanwhile, the guy's just been like,
And
Sonic
so
Boom, Sonic Boom, Sonic Boom.
Right, okay. So I was like, I have no idea what to do. And I had always assumed it's my reflexes, it's something, And the thing is, even beyond that, I couldn't do most moves. I would see, okay, to do a Shoryuken, I press forward, down, then down, forward, then push the punch button, right? So I tried to do it, and it wouldn't work. And I tried to do it, and it wouldn't work. And I tried to do it in the arcade. It wouldn't work. And I was just like, what the fuck?
I also had the problem, if I learned a complicated move, I would always try to use it at the wrong time because I could use it. So I wanted to use it all the time.
Yep. Yeah, I mostly be like M. Bison and do Psycho Crushers back and forth because I
Yep.
was able to do charge moves. Charging was easy, right? Just hold the button down for 2 seconds, then push the other button and then push 2 other
That's
buttons.
why I played Guile a lot of the time.
Yeah, those moves are relatively easier to understand and I could actually execute them, right? But basically, because I was never able to achieve any skill and I never had enough money to pump quarters into the arcade, and I just couldn't get good at the games. I just sort of stuck at my level. But very recently, Steam had a big sale, and Street Fighter 4 was cheap. Cheap. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy Street Fighter 4. And you know what? I know that I am never going to be good at these games.
The
right?
last time I had an illusion that I would be good at a game is when the new Smash Brothers came out, because I thought I will, from day one, practice and make sure that this is the game. Now, that stopped right away.
So, I thought, I'm like, I'm never going to win a tournament ever in my life. I'm never going to beat anyone who actually, is like some young kid who's good at fighting games. Never going to beat anyone who's like a Korean and who learned how to play Street Fighter from their elementary school teacher where they had, Street Fighting class and Mortal Kombat class, right? And StarCraft class.
StarCraft class, I believe you mean StarCraft University.
Yeah, right? So I'm never going to expect to beat them or be as good as them. But I would, if I'm going to buy this, I want to get to the point where I can get a combo off. I can actually do the super move.
I at least hit him one time before I go down.
Yeah, I don't just get pinned in the corner, infinite comboed, and I'm dead because I don't know what to do. I want to be able to go to PAX, go this open gaming. I can go up to a fighting game, right, and not just be embarrassed. If I'm doing a podcast about gaming, I should be able to at least have a mildly respectable amount of skill. And there is no reason, even though my reflexes probably don't compare to like some 13-year-olds, there is no reason that I cannot practice this for a few hours a day and get some progress. I can read these instructions on these special moves. The game has all the special move instructions in it. I can do this.
Plus, I'll say this, as a kid, I at least had unrealistic expectations as to my skill because I was playing FPSs constantly and I was really good at
and
them.
You were dominating in other genres that weren't fighting games,
Yep,
right?
but
yeah.
I didn't think as a kid that, wait a minute, I've spent many, many years practicing constantly at FPSs. Why do I expect to be good at fighting games?
Well, the thing is, right, I did play a lot of fighting games. I owned Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition.
You played them, but you did not grok them.
Well, listen, I'm going to tell you. I played probably Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition just as much as I played, like, fucking Mario 3 or Sonic the Hedgehog or whatever. But I'm way better at those than I am at Street Fighter 2, right?
Yep.
So I start playing Street Fighter 4. And, you know, I can do a Hadouken. I'm already, like, just reading the instructions and how to do the moves and going into training mode and just sort of practicing doing the special move over and over again. I'm building up a little bit of skill, right? I can just do Hadoukens over and over again, like Hadouken, right? And I'm like, all right. And if they get close, I can actually, most of the time, do a Shoryuken when they come in to jump kick me, right? So I'm getting somewhere. But really, that amount of skill is not any... I can't... On the game, if I try to play the game on medium with that level of skill, I can't beat it without continuing, right? So clearly, I am not... And if I play online, I basically have a 0% win rate against random internet opponents, okay? All right? So this was obviously not enough to achieve my goal, right? But I was having fun. The game is fun. It's a good game. So I'm able to stick with it, right? Okay. So what do I do now? Well, I get some advice from people I know on the internet. So I talked to someone who's, who has it for the PS3, and he's giving me some advice, like, yeah, you should stick with one character to learn all their stuff. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea, because that worked for me in Soul Calibur too. Stick with one guy, learn their stuff, right? And then he tells me, there's a trials mode. Now, remember we were talking that there should be some sort of DDR for Street Fighter?
Shinsho Ryuken.
Right, where the arrows and the buttons would fall from the top of the screen so that you would know what to push, right? And you would learn the timing from that. Now, Trials mode doesn't have that, but Trials mode is still pretty close to that. What it does is it'll tell you, like, okay, do a strong punch. So you do it, and it says, yes. Then it says, okay, now do a crouching kick. Ha! And it'll say, good. And then it'll say, now do a fireball. So you do a fireball, and it says, good. And then, you just keep doing this, and it gets progressively harder. It'll be like, okay, do the super move. Okay, now do a jump punch, followed by a low punch, followed by a fireball, right? And you have to do them really quickly. It's like, you can see graphically, it'll show you, like, how long you have to do one move after the previous move. And it's no time at all, basically. And when you do it properly, it'll be like, punch, punch, Hadouken. It's like fast, really fast. But I was able to do it eventually with practicing. And I was like, all right, that felt good. I mean, to push some buttons and see him do 3 things really fast, where, as long it's a combo, a real combo. The first one hits, and then he can't avoid you for like 3 more hits. It feels real good. It makes you want to keep playing, right? So eventually, I'm playing just sort of random modes. I'm doing some trials. I'm playing against computers, right? And the computer is one time I'm playing against the computer, and also I saw a real person do this, and they're basically going like, Sonic Boom, Sonic Boom, Sonic Boom, Sonic Boom. And I'm like, what? Are they cheating? Do they have a Sonic Boom button on the game? What are they doing, right? To do a Sonic...
Don't you have to hold back for 2 seconds and then...
To do a Sonic Boom, the instructions say you must hold back for 2 seconds on the game clock.
That's always said that from Street Fighter 2.
Then you have to push forward and then push a button, right? Which means, according to that, all laws of physics say that you must wait 2 seconds between Sonic Booms. Am I
Actually,
right?
2 seconds plus, I guess, the Planck limit of time of, hitting all the other buttons.
Right. Well, the time on the clock, the Street Fighter in-game clock is pretty much seconds, the real world seconds. It's a pretty accurate clock, right? Maybe it's a little bit fast, maybe a little bit. So how were they doing 1 Sonic Boom per second, right? How is that even possible? I mean, after the first Sonic Boom comes out, I shouldn't see another one for 2 seconds, right?
So obviously there is some secret here that we are stupid.
So usually, right, let's think about other games for a minute, right? Let's take Advance Wars, right? I'll play against Rim in Advance Wars.
Yep.
I'm like, Rim, you are cheating. How the fuck did you get 3 medium tanks in the same amount of time with the same number of cities, and all I have are 3 mechs?
And I'm like,
there
Scott,
must be some gnosis. You have the secret knowledge, right? That is preventing me from being that good. I was convinced there is a secret knowledge. Now, Rim, in Advance Wars, is there a secret knowledge?
I fucking count how much money I've got, and I plan ahead a couple rounds.
So we can agree that there isn't really a gnosis in Advance Wars.
No, there's just math.
Right. So going by I have complained of secret knowledges in many games, but really, I've never actually found a secret knowledge, right? What can you think of an example of a game that actually has gnosis? Some secret things that aren't in the instruction manual where if you know them, suddenly the world opens up to you and you're on another level?
One minor one is pay me for the fucking door. But that's
sort of a gnosis.
But it's minor. It's not a game changer.
Right. I'm going to tell you something. I actually had to research it was surprisingly difficult to find this information on the
internet. Did you try to just do them?
I tried to just go to GameFAQs to see if I could find the gnosis.
No, I mean, you turn into Guile and just try to do a bunch of
I couldn't do more than one every 2 seconds, right? So there were 2 seconds between my sonic booms when I tried to do it. So I tried to go to GameFAQs. Now, there was some, in GameFAQs, I couldn't really find the gnosis. But what I could find were some lingos. Words like cancel, counter, tech, right? Like, oh, you got to tech out, And I was like, what the hell does tech out mean? Is that something I don't know? I mean, I've seen the words tech flash across the screen when I'm playing sometimes. It's usually when I try to throw and the other guy tries to throw at the same time.
See, now I know in, for example,
and then
Soul
a little
Calibur,
blue spinning disc appears and it says tech.
Smash
I think
Brothers
it means technique, not technology.
is a good example because there's these situations in the game that I could never take advantage of, and I didn't even know about them until some fanboy told me about them. But all right, you can do a block in the air to cancel out the timer on some move you just did to do it again.
Mm-hmm.
But it was always so esoteric that I didn't care about it because none of our friends did any of that stuff, so I didn't need to worry about it.
Yep. So I researched further. I was very, very determined to learn the secrets, right? Because I was just so convinced there was a gnosis.
So, Akamian, are you going to tell me this fucking gnosis?
I'm going to tell you, I have not learned all of the gnosis, right? I have only learned a little bit.
So the Korai, will they hit you?
But let me tell you, the gnosis is real. There are the rules of Street Fighter are not in any instruction manual or in any game fact, and this is why everyone in the world is better at Street Fighter and similar fighting games than we are, is because there is secret information that is not well published on the internet. The game doesn't tell you the secret information. GameFAQs doesn't even have it. It's only in these other facts that were kind of hard to find. I had to go. Someone gave me a link to a Something Awful forum thread that had links to some facts that had inklings of the gnosis, and I was able to read that and derive the gnosis by inferring things from that text.
It's tough. You're digging through the Asardic library, but half of it's burned down.
I was also got a lot of help by watching YouTube videos. There was actually a YouTube video, maybe I'll link to it, right? That shows a lot of things from Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, maybe. I'm not sure if it's Turbo or not, but it's definitely Super Street Fighter 2. And a lot of those same things apply in future Street Fighter games like Street Fighter 4. Gnosis number 1. This is the big one. You ready? You ready for this?
Lay it on me.
Okay. So let's say I want to do something real simple. Do a jumping punch followed by a Hadouken, right? So I tap up and forward. My guy is jumping forward. I get close to you. I press the punch button. I land on the ground. Then I press down, down, forward, forward, and I press Hadouken. That is much too slow because I punch, and then I have to do this whole move.
Wait. I think I see where you're going with this. Do I not need to wait for what my guy was going to do to finish? Do I just have to do the motions?
No. It's even crazier than that. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
So there are certain moves. It's called a cancel, right? It depends on what the first move you're doing is. Some things are cancelable and some things are not, right? If something is cancelable, you can start doing stuff while that is still happening, right? So your super moves are are quote unquote infinitely cancelable. So you can input moves while the super move animation is happening, and when the super move animation is done, the moves will come out. Right? So if you do a cancelable, attack, you can do the Hadouken while the animation for that cancelable attack is happening, and then the Hadouken will come out immediately afterwards.
So Sonic Boom is cancelable, and you can just keep doing them?
So you do a Sonic Boom, and then as soon as you let go of it, you pull the stick back to start charging the next Sonic Boom while the first one, while he's still saying "suh." He's like, he hasn't even gotten to the Onic, and you're already charging, right? The second Sonic Boom. So it's like, boom,
Sonic
as soon as the
Sonic Boom.
right? It takes him like almost 2 seconds to do the Sonic Boom move, especially if it's the Fierce Sonic Boom, which is slower. So as soon as he's done with that one, you let out the next one and start charging the third one. And you can just go Sonic Boom. You only need the 2-second wait on the first one. But get this, you can do a jump kick. So I jump forward, right, to do the jump kick.
Is jump kick cancelable?
No, check this out. I jump forward, right? I immediately, before I even do the jump kick, I'm holding back. And I just tap up and forward to jump into the air. Just tap it and he jumps, right? So before I even reach the height of the jump, I already have the stick facing backwards. Then when I get close to you, I tap some attack buttons and then forward in the Sonic Boom. And those 2 seconds started while I was before I even reached the peak of the jump, I was already counting up the charge on the Sonic Boom.
Whoa.
I could do the same thing. I could jump forward and push down immediately and then do the flash kick, right? And then while I'm in the air with the flash kick, I can hold down, I land on the ground, another flash kick.
Do you know what we need to do?
I could do a flash kick, hold backwards while I'm in the air with the flash kick, land, do a Sonic Boom.
We have a holy mission in front of us. We need to organize the Forumites to make a Bible of here is all the bullshit to end this tyranny once and for all.
Ram, I'm not done with the Gnosis. There is more Gnosis. Are you ready for this?
I see, but I do not witness.
That is correct. So, I jump in for my punch Hadouken move, right? And while my punch is still happening, I go down, down, forward, forward punch, right?
Yep.
Now, if you want to do, let's say you're just standing there in Street Fighter, and you want to punch someone, you press the punch button.
Yes.
If you want to punch them 2 times, you must punch the punch button 2 times. Punch, punch.
Yep. Now, if I'm a button masher, I'll just keep hitting it until I've punched them 2
Yes,
times.
but you will do a number of punches equal to the number of presses, right?
Yes.
So if you wanted to do, the game will tell you the instructions to do a Hadouken is to do down, down, forward, forward, quarter circle, and then the punch button, right? So you would think that to do a punch and a Hadouken, you must need to press the punch button 2 times. That is incorrect. You only need to press the punch button 1 time to do a punch followed by a Hadouken. Because if it is a special move, you can use a button release to execute it. So I can press the punch button, hold it down, while the punch is executing, do the quarter circle, then let go of the punch button. And that let go will execute the Hadouken.
This is becoming more and more like the way you learn how to play an open hold flute, where there are like the dexterity of memorizing the combinations, like these very specific overlapping, like what path should my fingers take, A or B? Well, if I'm going into move C, I have to memorize path B instead of path A, even though they're both otherwise equivalent.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Here is some more minor Gnosis. Are you ready for this? Minor Gnosis. So in Street Fighter 4, they have the focus attack. Ready? So if you press, actually, I kind of like this about Street Fighter 4, is that if you want to do a throw, it'd always be kind of hard to do a throw in old Street Fighters. You have to get really close and press hold forward and a punch or a kick, or back and a kick, right? You just push both light punch and light kick at the same time, and that does a throw, And the direction, you can either do a throw forward or a throw back. It's real simple to do throws now, right? You can do a focus attack by pushing both medium attack buttons at the same time. And what this does is it makes your guys sort of flash, like, right? And they'll start charging up, like, ah. And then when you let go of it, they go, ah, right? And it's a focus attack. The focus attack has armor. So that means that if you take damage during the focus attack, your health meter will go down, but it will still leave this sort of gray shadow up there. And where your health is missing.
Yep, I've always seen that. I just assumed that was the way they drew it.
No. That gray shadow means that you got hit, but your armor blocked the hit. See, because if you actually get hit, you'll see your guy take damage. He'll go, ow, or fall down or something. And then you've taken real damage. But if you block the damage with armor, right, then it's only sort of this half damage, and you can get that life back. What you have to do is just, if you hit with the focus attack, the other guy is going to be in trouble. So then you just sort of, as the time goes on, as long as you're not actually getting hit for real, your health will slowly fill in that space again. So doesn't matter how much damage you take if you blocked it with armor, as long as you don't get hit before it fills up again, that health wasn't actually lost.
You know what that is in many ways? Battle balls.
You ready for more? The focus attack, because the focus attack has armor, you can charge the focus attack up a little bit more, or a lot. You can charge it up as much as you want. And there are some moves that have armor break, so that they'll break through and actually do real damage to you while you're doing the focus attack. But most people don't actually use the focus attack to do the focus attack. What they use it for is that armor property. So what they'll do is, let's say Ryu is throwing a fireball at you. Let's say it's some guy, he's just throwing constant fireballs. Hadouken, right? What do? You gotta slowly jump over the fireballs and get close to him, right? Or maybe you can just hang back and continuously jump over the fireballs with timing until he's forced to do something else or the game clock runs out, or something along those lines. You can use the focus attack. One fireball will hit you with the correct timing, will be blocked by the armor. Then you can tap forward 2 times to dash forward. You'll be right in his face, ready to punch him in the face, and he won't have the next fireball ready yet. You'll be able to just throw him or do whatever the hell you want, right? And you didn't even have to jump in the air or dodge any fireballs. All you had to do was press these 2 buttons simultaneously to block a fireball and then dash right into him. And that's a move that works. And
Really?
nowhere in the instruction manual is any of this explained whatsoever.
I'm surprised that some nerd hasn't just written a definitive... I mean, look at...
But the definitive guide, the thing is, these definitive guides...
They're written in an ancient language.
They use a lot of lingo, and there was even a glossary, right? So, an example from the glossary...
It's not lingo, it's jargon.
Right. But I mean... for an example, in the glossary, it talked about a cancel or a 2-in-1, right? And it was like a cancel or a 2-in-1 is when you buffer up one move, while another move is still executing. And then if you look up buffer, it says, yeah, you basically input a whole bunch of commands, getting ready for them to execute. But that's not really specific enough. It took me a while to actually figure out, when do I start buffering? Which things can I buffer up, and then when do I actually push the punch button? Even something so simple. If you tried to teach someone brand new to do a Hadouken, they've never played Street Fighter or any fighting game before, right? You tell them, it's a quarter circle and then a punch button, right? You have to, what's the actual timing of that? How soon after the forward do you push the punch? Do you push it simultaneously? A whole second after? A microsecond after? How quickly do you need to do the quarter circle? If you do it too quickly, it won't work. If you do it too slowly, then your guy's just going to crouch and then walk forward a little bit. He's not actually going to do the move. And they don't tell you these things. Nowhere does it tell you these things. It is just completely non-explained information because the audience is assumed to already have these ultra fundamentals. And even though I'm trying to practice and learn them, I can only learn so many of them. I still can't do Zangief's moves where you have to do a 360-degree circle and then press a button. I still cannot do that move with any reliability
Well, the gnosis
whatsoever.
Clearly goes deeper and deeper. You've learned 2 of the voices, but you don't have the 3rd inutterable.
There are a lot of voices that are missing here, right? But the point is that there is a gnosis here, and it is if you bought a video game and the instruction book was incomplete,
But by the same token, Pokemon is the same way. If you want to be the master, you got to do the EV and the IV training and the seeding and all that stuff. It's basically the same thing. The only difference is that in Pokemon, the facts to do this are immaculately precise. That a 5-year-old could follow them.
But the thing is this, right? The kind of gnosis we're talking about here is a little bit different, right? In Pokemon, you're not really supposed to know EV training. You don't need to know EV training to beat the game, right? In Street Fighter 4, if you want to beat the game on hard, you need to know this shit, right? That you can beat all of Pokemon without knowing anything.
See, one could argue that...
Number 2, right? Something like the fact that you can let go of a button to do a Hadouken instead of pressing one. That is not like some, EV training where you don't need to know that.
Well,
that is pretty
one
fucking
argument
important.
they could make, but I'll say why this is wrong, is that, that's the kind of mastery that you start to play the game with the basic rules and then you emergently figure it out. But because it's so methodical, like cancel, uncancelable, it's so specific, it is clearly by design and really should be in the instruction
It
book.
is absolutely by design. The armor is a built-in thing in the game. Like, nowhere does it explain that if your health bar goes down and there's a gray bar left behind, that's going to recover. It doesn't say that anywhere.
Are you absolutely sure that's not in the instruction book?
It's not in the instructions in the game. The game doesn't even have a tutorial. All it has is that trials mode. There is nothing, and if you go to the command list, right, to say, how do I do this move? All it says is it says quarter circle forward with a plus sign and then a picture of a fist. That's all it has. It doesn't teach you the timing. It doesn't tell you if plus means simultaneous or afterwards. It doesn't tell you anything. All it says is quarters. It gives you a picture of a quarter circle forward, followed by a plus sign, followed by a fist.
I am surprised. There's got to be...
That is not enough information for a nub. Not enough. And the thing is, if they gave out that information, I think that the level of skilled play of nubs would go way up. I mean, they still would get crushed by the masters, right? But a nub...
because there's two sides. There's knowing, but there's still doing, and doing is not easy.
That's right. I mean, there are still cases, right, where I just don't have the reflex, and I'm trying to practice and build it up. Like, there's one trial where M. Bison has to do, like, a crouching fierce, followed by a super move. And I just can't do it quickly enough. I can't make it happen. Even though I know that I can cancel and buffer it up and all this, there's no more gnosis left on this one. I just can't do it, no matter how much I try. Now, I'm not like, right now I'm into this, and I'm having fun. I want to figure it out. But I'm not like hardcore into it. Like, could I really justify like going to buy a stick?
Well, it's the question. You want to at least find the knowledge to prove that you can do it. But then beyond that, it's do you want to spend the time to achieve mastery?
Yeah.
Do you want to be a master or a professional?
So I was thinking about if I should buy a stick.
You really should. At least everything I read, everyone, even Conrad's into that stuff. He plays these games a lot. He has a stick.
Yeah, so I was looking to buy a stick maybe. And I was like, I can't really justify buying a stick for one game.
They're what, like 40, 50 bucks?
No, they're more. There's like $70.
I paid more than that for my Flight Stick Pro.
Yes.
But I played. You know what I played on that Flight Stick Pro? TIE Fighter. That was worth all the money by itself.
So at first I wasn't going to buy a stick, right? But, I'm using the Xbox 360 controller. But then, right, I'm actually starting, now that I've learned things, right? It's like, because I actually always sucked when using a stick in the past. I mean, I played Street Fighter II Championship Edition on my Genesis with a 6-button gamepad, So a stick was never really good for me. I always kind of sucked in the arcade and not good with the stick. I would hurt my hands using all those buttons, get like the claw hand, hitting those 6 buttons like that. So I wasn't going to get the stick. And I started investigating, and as I played more, I realized, wow, now that I'm playing more properly, now I understand why the stick is better. It's like the stick wasn't better for me when I didn't know these things.
Well, think
but
about
now
this.
that I know these things, now it's like it's like a whole hog, right? If you're drilling, a whole hog is probably just gonna destroy you if you don't know. If you're
Imagine a Halo-only console-playing FPS guy who is just put in front of a computer
with a mouse and keyboard,
with Tribes 2 mouse and keyboard.
Yeah, he's got nothing. It's going to ruin him. He'd be better off with the gamepad.
But if he understood the value of the mouse and keyboard, then he would suddenly have this new tool at his disposition that would make him a god.
Yes. So I'm trying to justify buying like the $70 stick, right? So there's this Mad Cat Street Fighter 4 stick for the 360, and I'm like, well, I bought Street Fighter 4 for the PC. So I researched, it works on the PC. Well, that's good, right? I found out that this stick is also like made to be moddable. Like it opens up and it's purposefully, everything inside is all exposed and standard arcade wiry stuff.
You could have fun with that in your Arduino.
I could do lots of stuff with that, right? Also, if I get, like that, like a computer plugged into the TV again, and you get some MAME on there, hello. This, so I think because the stick is all moddable and such, I could just get this stick and use it forever. I'd never need another stick. It's USB. I mean, I could use that for all eternity. If Super Street Fighter 4 comes out, which it is coming out, I'll be all set, and maybe I'll have a new genre here. Maybe I won't suck as much. But yeah, I still haven't won against any online opponent who wasn't Scott Johnson.
Well, you've got a long way to go. I mean, you just scratched the surface of the Gnosis.
I know, but the fact that there was actually a Gnosis that was real,
because usually there isn't. Like
fucked up.
It's always the Advance Wars situation of no,
I've been
you
playing
just
this
suck.
game since I was in middle school. Right? How old is Street Fighter 2?
God, I've
been playing it since it was just Street
I'll
Fighter
admit,
2. I never knew these things. Apparently, these things have always been true.
I always just assumed that I sucked.
Yeah.
And then I just wasn't good at these games that I never would be.
I thought it was like reflexes or something that, was some sort of natural limitation.
I was even worried that because Scott was playing this game again, that maybe because we're past the age of 22, we're just getting too physically old. But no, it's not. It's
we are too physically old to achieve a certain level, but our maximum level is still far higher than I thought it was, simply because there really were just secrets. Just plain old secret knowledge that was hidden from us.
Well, Scott, it's a secret to everybody.
It is a secret to everybody.
This has been Geek Nights with Rim and Scott. Special thanks to DJ Pretzel for the opening music, Kat Lee for web design, and Brando K for the logos.
Be sure to visit our website at frontrowcrew.com for show notes, discussion, news, and more.
Remember, Geek Nights is not one, but 4 different shows. Sci-Tech Mondays, Gaming Tuesdays, Anime Comic Wednesdays, and Indiscriminate Thursdays.
Geek Nights is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license. Geek Nights is recorded live with no studio and no audience. But unlike those other late shows, it's actually recorded at night.